Pleasure patrons, you're back. Back for the extendo. And I'm glad you're here. I am back too. We just cleared the energy, put some Palo Santo into the universe, into the vibes. After I did the first reading, this is never going to do what I wanted to. I cleared the energy with some sage, reset the space. I had to work today. I worked today, but we're back. We're back with this full moon in Sagittarius extended reading, part 2. So the extended reading is really just an opportunity for us to delve into some of the more symbolic cards more deeply. So the affirmation cards that we had in that first video, if you haven't watched it, please go ahead and check it out. It is 43 minutes long, but there's so many good nuggets throughout. So anyway, we went through our story. We looked at the energetic insight, and we got some really powerful messages just to hold these cards up as a reminder. And now we're going to break them down. We're going to break them down from the 6 of Fire to the Seed of Fire to the 10 of Fire. And I'm going to hold up each card and read to you what each of these cards means. So, again, if you want to go back and tap into your intuition, I would encourage you to go to the first video, because the first video is going to show you, what your interpretation of these cards is. If you need more information about how to engage with tarot and tarot readings, it is very much a two-way street. I feel like it's exactly the same as when I'm working with a client one-on-one. We are co-regulating. We're not only tapping into the collective consciousness, but we're mirrors to each other. We're in a feedback loop. So just as I was reading those cards and projecting what I experience as I channel, you are also picking up, selectively hearing, attuning to what I'm saying, and also creating your own messages from those cards and the symbols in those cards. So I do have a more detailed video on how to connect with tarot and, how to do tarot readings, but also how to interpret tarot readings in my first video on the channel, the how to prep a tarot deck, where I kind of go through it a little more detail. But let's get into it, because you all have been patiently waiting, and we had the 40-minute channeled message, which it comes from more of our spirit, and now let's bring in the book, because the folks who create these tarot decks, the artists, the creators, the thought tank behind each deck, they have their projections and interpretations, and that gets put into the card as well. So sometimes it's nice to read like what their interpretation is and incorporate your interpretation too, because tarot is meant to be symbolic. When we look at symbols, symbols will tell us about our own psyche, our individual consciousness. And depending on what type of psychology you practice, if you're more of a neo-Freudian or a Jungian type of clinician, you also believe that your individual projections or your individual interpretations will tell you something about the collective interpretation, the collective psyche, right? So let's get into it. Our first card that we received in the reading was the 6 of Fire. The channeled message I got from the 6 of Fire had to do with really the multiplicitous energy of Sagittarius. Sagittarian energy is Jupiterian. It wants to expand. It wants to grow. It wants to know. It wants more, more, and more. Sometimes this can also lead to overwhelm. It can lead to expansion without that healthy contraction, which allows us to reset. So the 6 of Fire I interpret it as this person, this collective consciousness really being pulled in a lot of different directions, and our philosophies and our thoughts, just distractions in the world right now, and really needing some clarity. And that once we can find that cohesive insight and wisdom within ourselves, the seed of fire, our intrinsic fire, our third eye, our consciousness, then we can, integrate and have a clear view moving forward. So let's take a look at what the Six of Fire means in this book. And again, oftentimes I listen to tarot and I just trust that I'm going to remember the things I need to remember, or whatever needs to get encoded in my subconscious gets encoded, and it'll influence how I do things in the way that it's meant to, in the way that I want it to. So maybe you're the person that wants to sit down and write this down. Sometimes I do that too, depending on the reader or how connected I am to the message. But I also, relax, chill, just listen, enjoy. It's for entertainment purposes, and then you can take from it what you will. So the Six of Fire can mean recognition, victory, progress, and excellent news. It's also about integration. So when I was reading this card, I was really seeing integration. Is there something that you need to integrate right now? Are there multiple ways multiple directions you're being pulled? Your fire is being pulled. How can you integrate that energy to create the change and take the action that you wish to see? So, this also offers us an herbal medicine as well. I don't know if you can see it. Hawthorn. That's the energetic guide for this medicine as well. Blossoming, heart song, heartfelt. I also see Hawthorn as a very protective energy as well. So, this card is a card of victory. It is a card of progress, but I also see it as a card of multiplicity. So let's keep going with the messages here, because we have integration. What are we integrating? Perhaps it's this myriad of, I don't know how to pronounce it, philosophies, of actions, of possibilities that we can take, but also distractions and information. So let's go into the Seed of Fire. Oh my God, I love calendula. Calendula is so good. It's marigold. And the lineages of change, they've also integrated a lot of the integrative Afro-Indigenous practices like root work, like hoodoo, that bring in herbal and earth elements as well. So the Seed of Fire: ambition, enthusiasm, pure intention, intuition, creative activity, and sometimes flightiness. Our channeled message talked about holding the vision and tapping into our third eye as a way to achieve that integration that we were initially talking about, right? Because when you have fire, and believe me, I'm an Aries, Sun, Moon, Mercury, I can go in a million different directions at once. I have to ground, I have to center to figure out what is the seed that I need to sow that's going to get me to that success, that progress that I want. So what is pulling you in different directions? Something's pulling you potentially in different directions right now. And there is a way that you can tap into your inner wisdom and your inner truth to get the clarity that you need moving forward. So in the reading for this, getting to that pure intention, that intuition, that creative force that's going to help you hold the vision for that fire energy, for how you want to take action and move forward. So this has to do with aliveness, having a desire to learn, and finding that desire fulfilled. Okay, back to that Six of Fire. All these different directions, but where do you want to hone in? Where do you want to focus? Where do you want to be mindful to bring something to fruition? And the plant medicine for this is shepherd's purse. I've actually never heard of shepherd's purse. Stop the bleeding, stop the flow, preserve the life force, channel creativity. This person, so much is going in so many different directions right now. There's so much happening in the collective consciousness underneath this full moon. You can be pulled in so many different directions. Please, please hone your intuition, hone your intention, hone your creativity, go into your own wisdom, discernment, and clarity. So let's take a look at the Ten of Fire. Such a beautiful card. So much fire in this reading, which makes a ton of sense. Sagittarius, fire energy, what's happening on the world stage right now, fire energy. So, our channeled message, the channeled message for this and the other reading was about overcoming strife and struggle, and sometimes weeping along the way as we follow our path. So this card can mean excess activity, burnout. I didn't say that in the first one, but it feels really clear. Like this kind of golden shackle energy, literally, like around her neck, right? How many of us are feeling maybe caged into certain circumstances that lead to burnout patterns, that lead to emotional repression, that lead to stress and pain? There may be accomplishment on the other side, but at what cost, right? So this is someone who's carrying a load for a really long time, and they're holding a lot. And this is what we were talking about. You have to release to receive in that first reading. This is us recognizing that we're being pulled in multiple different directions. And there's an incredible amount of distraction. Coming into our inner wisdom and our inner vision. There we go. And doing that so that way we can get out of this place of burnout, out of this place of stress, of overproduction, overconsumption even. So that is that's the overview energy, is that a lot of us have met our boiling point. We are at a place of burnout. We are at a place of distraction, and we need help seeing the vision and holding the vision so that we can release, so that we can actually receive that abundance on the other side. And so in the first reading, it talked about boundless joy and acceptance. Accepting where we are so that we can focus on the boundless joy that we want in our lives, which is essential to healing this burnout, overwork, struggle, strife. So let's get into our animal aspects, which speaks to our unconscious energy. All that other stuff, that's on the surface. We can turn on the TV, scroll on social media. We're going to see all of that right out there. But let's take a look at what we're accessing, or maybe the energy, what insight we need about ourselves to hold this energy. So we initially got the snake. Let me find the snake. Snail, squirrel, swan. Everything but the snake. This book is organized in a very interesting way. Doesn't always make it easy to find what you're looking for. Number 23. Let's talk about the snake. I love it when this happens. The snake. Read this card, connect with this energy for yourself. The meaning of the snake is of the divine feminine, a spiritual awakening, a healing. If you watch the first reading, you already know. You already know that this is a confirmation. The snake is one of the oldest known symbols of the goddess, and it has a powerful correspondence in the occult. The snake is rich in meaning and revered in many cultures, with one of the most famous representations being that of Kundalini, a snake goddess, believed to be triggered at the start of a profound spiritual awakening. If the snake has graced your reading with its presence, it's likely you are undergoing this process now. So that 6 of fire, that seed of fire, we're coming out of this burned out, unawakened state, like this grind mode, into this awakening and to like the primordial divine life force energy that we all have, that we are actually all agents and autonomous and in control and have a lot more power than we realize. And that power isn't coming necessarily from brute force, but from being a part of nature, from existing, from being in this world, from being able to like access our bodies and know what we need and care for each other. Back to the book. Just as the snake is shedding its skin is a sure sign of its growth, you may be experiencing old beliefs or versions of yourself falling away now. Recognize that this is a necessary part of your healing journey. Often, after we've undergone a profoundly difficult or painful time, we emerge on the other side feeling as though we are a completely different person. To fully embrace this new, authentic version of yourself, it is necessary to let fall away what must fall away to complete the process of integration. Shed the dead weight and welcome in this healthier version of yourself. The snake may also be a sign that the goddess of divine feminine is calling out to you, so say hello. What did we say earlier, y'all? I'm a Tennessean, by the way. Y'all, integration. Letting go of old patterns that do not serve us. So there's a really nice reflection in this. And again, it just goes back to like the importance of the feminine power, of how that divine energy has been demonized through colonization. You know, spend some time with the snake, research the snake, see what it means to connect with that energy in your life, right? Let's take a look at the hippo, because we got more than one energy. We also got the hippo. Found that one a little more quickly. Yay! Oh, the hippo. I saw it as very protective, maternal. Connect with this energy, see what it means to you. And I'm going to read the book. The meaning of the hippo is abundance, reaping rewards, and indulgence. Release to receive, release to receive, release to receive. Say it with me. Release to receive. A heavyweight in the animal kingdom, the hippo is the third largest land mammal behind the elephant and the white rhino. The incredible mass of the hippopotamus represents the themes of abundance, expansion, and indulgence. And if you've pulled the hippo card, you are in the flow of it. This is where we're heading. We are heading towards the abundance of boundless joy. Might be hard to see right now because a lot of us are here or have been here. But once we reach this acceptance of where we are, what's within our control, how much power we actually have, then we can get here. We can access more of this. It's already within our energy, right? So, this card will always be a welcome sight in a reading, as we should be experiencing abundance in many and maybe all areas of our lives. There is a jovial energy that comes along with the hippo, as we are deeply in the flow of gratitude when this card is present as well. You may be entertaining your every indulgence and rewarding yourself for all of your hard work. Just make sure not to go overboard or to hoard all the good tidings for yourself. The hippo asks us to share our wealth, literally and figuratively, with those we love. After you've taken a moment to treat yourself, remember that you will eventually have to get to work again to create even more moments of abundance in your life. So again, this hippo energy, this expansive energy, this large, loving energy is the bright side of the Sagittarian energy, that larger than life, expansive, abundant, overflowing Jupiterian energy. You know, this reading was both about some of the shadow aspects of that. You know, when we expand, and we expand unconsciously, and when we expand, whether we're stepping on toes or hurting others, never a good thing in my opinion. Burns out the world. And we're seeing that play out on the large stage. And if we can integrate our energy, activate our energy, and awaken, seed with intention what we want, what we need. I mean, look at all this victory. You know, victory is in acceptance as well. Coming back to the self, not in how we need other people to perceive us, but in how we perceive ourselves, what is right and what is true for us, mindfulness. Then we come into the hippo. We come into this fated abundance, reward, and indulgence. So you, whoever you are, tapping into this video right now, you're releasing something huge. You're releasing an old pattern. You're releasing a toxic energy. You're releasing a state of shutdown and burnout. And it might feel really painful. It might feel hard at first. And you're going to have so much incredible insight and clarity within the next month that is going to lead you to a place of profound abundance. This isn't just material abundance. This is spiritual abundance. This is Kundalini energy. This is an awakening. And from that first reading, that led us to a place of deep acceptance of who we are, what we have control over, and boundless joy, that freedom and playfulness of boundless joy. So in the first reading, I chose a card from the Deb Dana Polyvagal deck, and we talked a bit about like what skill can be used for releasing energy, and we talked about ranting. But now I want to take a look at, kind of your bonus for coming into the extended is that you get one more reading from me. And so I will be using this beautiful deck from phenomenal person, wonderful person that I knew here, still know. They're incredible. One of their organizations, BlaFem, they're also a psychologist, an incredible academic researcher, and Black feminist, womanist in the work, doing the community thing. Dr. Della V. Mosley. Check out some of their articles and also follow BlaFem on Instagram. But they have this beautiful deck for, facilitating and cultivating our healing journey. So just as we picked look at this. I love purple, y'all, if you can't tell. But just as I had picked a deck that in the first reading about like, what's the skill we need for releasing? There's also skills for receiving. Not everybody was taught to receive, that they're worthy of receiving, that they're deserving of receiving, that they get to receive just because they exist. I don't know about what kind of messages you grew up with or what you witnessed, but whether it's your family system messages, your school system messages, your social messages, your political, religious messages, most of us got some baggage around receiving. Receiving, pleasure's about release, and it's about receiving, right? you know, maybe once I have a Patreon, a little Substack, a little private community, we can get a little more adults, mature. But let's see what the universe has for us. Like, what can help facilitate receiving? This Jupiter energy is about releasing, but it's also about receiving. Ooh, flying. Oh my gosh. This is very in aligned with the affirmation cards. But this is what we got. I am becoming. I love who I am becoming. I am committed to my wholeness. So in receiving, it seems like we're really focused on receiving ourselves. You're really focused on receiving yourself in your wholeness. That's the acceptance part. Because how can we receive the boundless joy and the abundance if we can't also receive ourselves in the burnout, if we can't receive ourselves in the overwhelm, the overthinking, the shutdown? I love this question here. What supports me to take my mask off so I can really heal? Talking about masking for a moment, a lot of us say we want to receive, but we have a lot of barriers and guards up that prevent us from actually receiving, because guess what? Receiving requires vulnerability. And I'm not saying that our masks aren't sometimes necessary, that our masks aren't there for a reason, but you deserve to show up as you. You deserve to become yourself in your wholeness. And you deserve to be free of your mask. So let's practice unmasking, whatever that means to you, in safer spaces, safe enough spaces, so that we can truly receive ourselves and receive the healing that we deserve. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, listen, whatever it is you do. Take care of you, and happy healing.